What up, gang? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you. It is Friday afternoon, and I'm at, well, I'm not at a school. Excuse me. I'm not at a school. I'm at a church. And this is not Dabo Sweeney's church that gives Clemson lots and lots of money. This is actually the Cornerstone Church in Darlington, South Carolina, off the interstate. Why did I come over here to do a live video? Well, it's because I got a bunch of ugly comments in the comment section last week. You shouldn't be driving and making videos. So, guess what? I'm going to go on ahead and pull off and do things the right way. I'm going to do it over here in the parking lot real quick. We're going to go down the entire slate of games for tomorrow and tonight and pick these against the spread. Excuse me. Good Lord. Sound like one of Mike Leach's press conferences right now. If you've ever listened to that, man. Guy literally sounds like he's about to fucking die. I mean, during the press conference. But anyway, these are powered by Caesars Sportsbook. No, it's not a COVID cough. From the ESPN site. I'm going to go down the slate of games for tonight and tomorrow. So, and I've also I've done these videos and done them for like a live premiere before, and it takes these things forever to upload. So I ain't all about that life. I want to do it and do it right, and then go on ahead and get that thing done so that you all can see it, so we can get it out for the masses. You know what I mean? So let's start picking some of these games here. Tonight, Virginia on the road at Syracuse in the Dome. Syracuse laying 9.5 points at home against Virginia. Go on ahead and take Syracuse. They're 3-0, and last week they played Purdue. I kind of think Purdue was the better team, even though Syracuse ended up winning that game. But to be honest with you, I'm not Virginia. I'm not laying points with a team that struggled to beat Old Dominion. I'm just not. Virginia Tech lost to Old Dominion, and I actually had them last night. I had them pegged to pull an upset against Virginia or West Virginia. We'll see how that turned out, right? So no, I'm not laying any more points with any teams that have struggled with Old Dominion until Old Dominion becomes a playoff team, or at least a New Year's Six type team, and then maybe I will. So anyway, Nevada goes on the road to Air Force, and Air Force is favored by 24 in this game. I got burned with Air Force last week. You know, Air Force is a good team, and they will win this game. Nevada didn't score a single point against Iowa last week. That game got over at like 4 a.m. So I'm going to go on ahead here. I'm going to take Nevada, the road team, to cover against Air Force. I think Air Force still blows them out, but I'm taking Nevada there, not laying points with Air Force again. Boise State on the road at UTEP. Boise State is actually a 16-point road favorite against UTEP. I'm going to go on ahead and take Boise State here. UTEP has not looked good this year at all. It's not the Cinderella team that we saw with UTEP last year. So go on ahead and do that. Lots of Vols fans over here in the comment section. You got 23 people watching. I think 22 of them are Vol fans, and then Brock Lee. But if we could get as many from all these other fan bases here, my God, we'd have ourselves a heck of a super chat. Anyway, heck of a chat room. But anyway, I appreciate you being here and watching. This was impromptu, by the way, so I didn't have a schedule. Anyway, Kent State I'm going in chronological order here with these. Kent State on the road, number 1, Georgia. Georgia's 3-0. Kent State comes in at 1-2. Kent State is not afraid to play anybody. They've gone on the road and took on Washington, and then they've taken on Oklahoma in week 1, and now they're taking on Georgia. Georgia's a 45-point favorite in this game. I don't like these kind of spreads and games. Just to tell you, I just don't like them. I'm going to go ahead and take Georgia to cover it. I think they do. They just, like last week against South Carolina, they just absolutely scored at will. And I got to think South Carolina's defense might be a little bit whatever. Here's Leonard talking about, well, you know what? I mean, y'all are, I hate to say it, that term that I hate, rent fee. Y'all are all rent-free about the Gamecocks. Spencer Rattler's not a mediocre quarterback. Spencer Rattler cannot throw under pressure. Spencer Rattler can do better when he's rolling out of the pocket, when he's able to get a little bit more field vision there. It's a shitty scheme. It's just a shitty scheme that he's in. It's a shitty offense, a shitty offensive coordinator. You got all that right. All that is right. So their job this week is to win in spite of Marcus Satterfield, not because of anything Marcus Satterfield does. I mean, I think, quite honestly, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to go off on a tangent here about it. What do they lose by firing him right now? What do they lose by firing him right now? Obviously, obviously the locker room does not like him. Okay, for number one, the fan base hates him. I can't stand him. If I can't stand him, probably the rest of the fan base can't stand him as well. You even got players talking shit about the guy. They have players doing they got a podcast because, NIL, you can do that now. Josh Vann is on a podcast that he does, and he was talking shit about him. And Marcus Satterfield tried to make something out of it the next day. Oh, well, it was just, sometimes we just forget things. And blah, yeah, whatever. You're a dipshit. So none of the players are going to be upset if none of the players would be upset if he's gone. You got Freddie Kitchens on there. Hell, a guy used to coach a damn NFL team. Let him call your plays. Can that be any worse? Jeez Louise. Anyway, Georgia, I think, will cover that 45 points. Maryland on the road at Michigan. Michigan's a 17-point favorite. I think Michigan covers. Maryland's a nice little team, got a nice little 3-0 record. But here's the thing with Maryland. They'll beat the teams they're supposed to, but when they go against one of these teams like a Michigan, like an Ohio State, like a Big Barney Ross, thank you for the super chat. Odds on will Drinkowitz or the coach from Auburn get fired first? The coach from Auburn, because the expectations are higher. Right, Lee says, bet there's someone in the offense. Absolutely, there is. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, you got an ex-NFL coach over there. I mean, surely to God, that he could call plays. But I think Clayton White, the defensive coordinator, could probably call offensive plays better than him. I think Michigan rolls and covers the spread. Now, they've not played anybody, but they've looked good doing it. Clemson on the road at Wake Forest. Clemson's a 7-point favorite on the road at Wake. Clemson's offense has not looked good this year. I don't care what they say about DJ looking better, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sold on them. I am not sold on their offense. And this just seems like one of those situations where they're going to go in and they're, and everybody's hyping them up, and they just think they're going to get the easy win over Wake because that's what they've been doing for a while. I don't think it happens. I think they get upset. If not, I think Wake Forest covers the spread. Give me Wake Forest. Now, I might be crazy, but I just have a feeling. My elbow gets itchy when I get a feeling like that. Central Michigan on the road at Penn State. Penn State 28-point favorite. That was kind of an emotional game, I guess you would say, that they came off of last week against the Barn, and they blew them out. And nobody really expected that. Now, we could say, is this a look-ahead situation against Central Michigan because conference play is starting? I don't think it is. Next week, they play Northwestern, and that's not, like a juggernaut. It's not like they're looking ahead to an Ohio State or a Michigan there. So, Penn State, give me Penn State to to cover the spread there. Stop trusting your feelings when it comes to betting. I have a feeling. I have a feeling. So, well, whatever. I happen to be a couple of spots behind you in that contest, sir. If you didn't already figure that out, there might be 2 Carolina jackpots running around. Baylor on the road at Iowa State. Iowa State 2.5-point favorite at home. I like Baylor here. I think Iowa State's just a big wet fart of a team. Who puts ads on a live stream? YouTube does. It's not anything I have any control over. I'm going to tell you, I have not studied Baylor nor Iowa State a lot. So, Clemson Imperial say worst offense in modern era last season. Well, get out of here. What's the modern era since 2015? You don't think you had any worse offenses in the early 2000s, or didn't have any bad ones in the 90s? Is that not the modern era? Give me a break. It's not been around in 1993 in South Carolina and Clemson go in a wet paper sack and slug it out in a 16-13 shitfest in Williams-Brice Stadium, which the Taters won. It freaking pissed me off. Missouri on the road at Auburn. Auburn's a 7-point favorite on the road against Mizzou here. I don't like Auburn. I don't think they're good. The problem is I don't think Missouri's very good either. They do have a very electric guy back there in the wide receiver positions. They have a hybrid position, hybrid type player anyway. Luther Burden, true freshman, took a punt back for a touchdown last week. Just looked like he was just miles ahead of anybody else on the field. And he's one of these players, as Uncle Lou would say, is hashtag fun to watch. But on the road, I don't think Auburn is any good. But other than him, I don't think Mizzou's very good either. This looks like a battle of 2 tomato cans. And he says he should have been a dog. Well, transfer portal, dude, right? It could happen. He could end up there. So I'm going to take Auburn to cover here. Cross your fingers that happens. Bowling Green on the road at Mississippi State. Mississippi State 31-point favorite at home against Bowling Peen. Bowling Green actually pulled up an upset win against Marshall last week after losing the week before in double overtime to Eastern Kentucky. Going on the road here in this situation at Mississippi State. So after that, they've lost in overtime to Eastern Kentucky, then had a big upset win over Marshall. I think this is an emotional spot for Bowling Green, and I think Mississippi State drops the hammer. I'm going to take the Mississippi State Bulldogs to cover that 31 in that one. TCU on the road at SMU. TCU's a 2-point favorite. TCU coach Sonny Dykes came from TCU, didn't he? So this is going to be an interesting matchup here. Give me the home underdog here. Give me the home underdog. I like SMU. Yeah, I just kind of birded. Duke on the road at Kansas. KU is a 7-point favorite at home. Look, and that place is going to be sold out. And once again, we're talking, a lot of emotion going on. They're 3-0 for the first time since God knows when, since probably color television started up. At least since the late 2000s, like 2007, 2008 or something like that. Duke comes in there. This is the best defense that Kansas will have faced all year long. Duke wore their ass for a hat last year. But Kansas comes off of a pretty convincing road victory against Houston. And everybody's all over them. They're media darlings. Everybody's talking about Kansas. Everybody's talking about Duke. And Mike Elko, I think can get the job done here. I think they go on the road here and kind of PP in Kansas as cornflakes, kind of end the party a little bit, or maybe not end the party, but maybe, put a premature pause to the party. Give me Duke to cover. I think they win the game straight up. I think they pull off the upset. South Florida on the road at Louisville. Louisville's 14.5 point favorite. What is your opinion of Beamer's fourth quarter championship? I don't know. I don't fucking know. He's just looking for some kind of damn silver lining in the cloud. What the fuck? I mean, everybody, why is it that everybody hinges on every fucking word that comes out of his damn mouth? I mean, is he that fucking bad? Y'all hate him that fucking much? Good Lord. Just go burn his house down. Maybe he'll run him out of town. I better not say stuff like that on the internet. But god dang, y'all are some fucking ass wipes. You really are. I mean, you fucking Tennessee fans, look who you had coaching your team a few years ago. But when he had they were running around with a fucking garbage can on the damn sidelines, had a damn a fucking wrestling belt made up with a T on it for the fucking champions of life. Fuck that shit. Ain't nothing wrong with the damn, hope he gets a lifetime contract. He doesn't hype himself up. November 21st, 2 p.m. How does he hype himself up? When has he ever talked about how fucking great he is? I haven't heard him do it. I haven't heard him do it at all. I think he gives the praise to his players. I think he gives the praise to his coaches when it's due. I think he could be a little bit tougher on them. And I think he's kind of saving face right now. Whatever. I'm tired of hearing about him, man. He's not that fucking bad. Give the motherfucker a chance. You see what he came into? Yeah, you have fucking clean up Will Muschamp's damn mess. It's not easy. It's not easy. Just ask Jim McElwain. He couldn't do it. His ass got fired. Beamer ain't getting fired, though. Only reason he'll leave South Carolina is the success that he's going to get there. I can just see the stars aligning right now that he's going to, in about 5 years, he's going to have that team humming, playing for the SEC championship, not the SEC East championship. And Beamer's a clown. Your coach is a little Debbie Tate. She ain't gonna be like Collins at Georgia Tech, whatever. Y'all are fucking stupid as hell. And I can see Brent Pry. That's already turning out not to be a very good experiment. As I said in the offseason, I didn't think that was a very good hire. I'm like, why are they hiring this wet fart to coach Virginia Tech? So actually, South Carolina kicked Tennessee's ass the years they had the trash can, so keep on talking. Anyway, let's get back to what's relevant here. South Florida on the road at Louisville. Louisville 14.5 point favorite at home. I like Louisville to cover here. South Florida just not very good. I think they probably, god dang, I can't even talk. You'd think I'm drunk. I'm not drunk. They played their game of the year last year. Yeah. Last week. I don't see it. Buffalo on the road at Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan is a 6 point favorite. How am I living in the past? Give me Eastern Michigan. I think that's a good football team. Butch had a trash can. Beamer coaches like one. Whatever. Y'all are dumb as fuck. Beamer doesn't coach like one. His stupid staff does. He's got a horrible staff. I mean, and to be frank, I mean, this is his first time assembling a staff. Beamer won't ever win 7 games a year. He just did last year, you dumb fuck. Ryan Clayton. Go tell Carolina Jackpot you're sorry. Right now. How's it work? It's all right. It's over with. UCLA on the road at Colorado. UCLA, 21.5 point favorite. Not enough points. Colorado's terrible. UMass on the road at Temple. Temple is a 9-point home favorite. I'm going to go ahead and mess around and take Temple here. Played a pretty good game last week against a decent Rutgers team on the road. Almost was in position to win that one in the end. Going ahead and let me take them. I think they blow UMass out of the water. Yeah, well, I mean, y'all have lost to Vandy 5 out of the last 10 times that you've played them. So, you know, we could all laugh about that as well. How the hell you lose to Vanderbilt like 5 out of the last 10 times? That's laughable, Tennessee. Y'all are embarrassing. Speaking of Tennessee, they're next up on my docket. Florida on the road at Tennessee. Tennessee 10.5-point favorite here. A lot of people jumping on that Tennessee bandwagon. A lot of people. And they've looked good. I mean, they've looked good. But like I said, your big blowout wins against a couple of tomato cans. Now, you did what you should have done against the tomato cans. You blew them out. But I don't think anybody's really impressed by that. When y'all played Ball State, you gave up a ton of yards in between the 30s. And that didn't look very good. Florida, for what they are, they've played pretty bad the last couple of weeks. Especially this game against South Florida. That was awful performance. And the one against Kentucky wasn't much better. They're the ones that hype and making Kentucky think they're world beaters. Want to think they're world beaters. And, you know, I'm just not seeing that either. This is a quarterback with a little bit different dynamic, can run around a little bit, and can stretch the field somewhat against a defense that really, let's be frank, just really hasn't been tested. And you got to throw some histories in here. Tennessee has just not played well against Florida at all. I mean, even when Tennessee's been really, really good, they've just not been able to get it done. So 10.5 points, that's kind of a big spread. Here's my only fear. My fear is that Florida comes out like a wet fart. They get down 14-0, something like that early. You know, the gimmick offense is firing on all cylinders. If Carolina hadn't blocked 2 punts that game, no, it wasn't. South Carolina won by 7 points. If they hadn't blocked, if. Let me ask you this: why do they say a game is got 3 components: offense, defense, and special teams? But all you want to do is talk a bunch of shit about the damn fact that we scoring touchdowns on special teams. Let me ask you this: if South Carolina blocked 2 punts in every game this season and ended up winning 11 games, would they go to a New Year's Six Bowl? What's the Chickens' record again? Who's Tennessee played again? South Carolina's played the number 1 and the number 10 team in the country. Tennessee's played no one. Anyway, let's move on from this. I'm picking Florida to cover this game. Wouldn't shock me if they won it outright. But I just have a feeling. That Tennessee's going to win this game. App State with Chase Bryce, probably by 50. Texas on the road at Texas Tech. Texas 7-point favorite now. I'm going to take Texas to cover that spread. I don't like Texas Tech too much. Feels like a bad matchup to me. Didn't look good against NC State, especially offensively last week. Couldn't do much at all. Middle Tennessee on the road at Miami. Miami 25.5-point favorite at home against Middle. Going ahead and give me Miami to cover. Middle is just a terrible team. And I think this is kind of a get-right situation here for Miami. Notre Dame on the road at UNC. UNC, a 1.5-point favorite. I'm taking North Carolina here to win this one and cover that. Notre Dame has just been god-awful. I mean, the quarterback play is not good. And North Carolina, I mean, defensively, they've been giving up a ton of points, but is Notre Dame going to be able to are they going to be able to do, do anything to take advantage of that? I don't think so. Minnesota on the road at Michigan State. Minnesota's a 3-point favorite. Give me the Golden Gopher. Golden Gopher to cover that spread. They've been looking good. They've been doing nothing but covering all year long. So I'm going to go on ahead and take them to cover in that game. Indiana on the road at Cincy. Cincy's a 16.5-point favorite against IU. Let's go on ahead and take Cincinnati to cover there. That's a good football team. Indiana is 3-0. It's kind of a fraudulent 3-0. Really haven't beaten anybody. They had a decent win against Illinois. I guess that's their win of the year. But I'm going to go on ahead and they struggled last week with Western Kentucky. It's not a good Western Kentucky game either. So give me Cincinnati to cover there against IU. James Madison on the road at App State. App State's a 7-point favorite at home. Going ahead, give me James Madison to cover this spread. App State has come off of that emotional win at Texas A&M last week. I don't know if any of y'all saw that. I don't know that anybody's really even talked about that. Did anybody see the wild ending of that game between them and Troy last year? I mean, how many natties does South Carolina have? I don't know. They got like 2 in baseball. They've got like 3 in women's basketball. I mean, got a decent amount of them. Got a decent amount. We've been to the Final Four before, too. Tennessee can't say that either. That's a lot of emotion to go through there. And I'm going to pick James Madison here to cover in this situation. I just don't think that Toledo, or not Toledo, I'm looking at the next thing. I don't think App State can keep sustaining that. I don't think they keep sustaining that. Toledo on the road at San Diego State. Toledo's a 3-point favorite. I'm going to tell you, I absolutely have no damn clue. Shit. I'll take San Diego State to cover, I guess. That is a weird spot there. Why are those two teams even playing? So let's go on ahead and take San Diego State to cover. That's a long way to travel. Another wet fart of a game. I know nothing about San Diego State other than the fact they're not real good this year at all. Florida International at Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky is a 31-point favorite. My God, Florida International must be bad. I mean, they must be real bad. I can pull their schedule up. I don't know. I don't know on that one, guys. That's a lot of points. That is a lot of points against an A. But, I mean, there must be a reason why. Give me a Florida International to cover, though. That's too many points. North Texas at Memphis. Memphis, 12.5-point favorite. I'm going to take Memphis to cover there. North Texas, not very impressive to me against UNLV a couple weeks ago. I'm going to take them to get the win there. Oregon on the road at Washington State. Oregon is a 6.5-point favorite at Washington State. Oregon looked pretty good against BYU last week. How it didn't look very good in week 1 against Georgia. Washington State, a team that's upset Wisconsin this year already. Oregon, once again, I got to think that's an emotional win they're coming off of. Give me Wazoo at home to cover that spread. Tulsa on the road at Ole Miss. Ole Miss, a 21-point favorite. Too bad Tulsa not play Mississippi State. They could have a rematch of that big fight they got in the bowl game here a while back. Give me Tulsa. Give me Tulsa right here. Ole Miss has got a look-ahead spot coming. They got Kentucky at home the next week, and I think their focus is going to be on that, making that, exposing that fraudulent team. Zero Summers said FIU beat Bryant. I did remember seeing about that. Yeah, that's not good. So give me Tulsa to cover that 21. Georgia Tech on the road at UCF. UCF's a 20.5-point favorite. I'll take UCF. Yeah, just because they're not very good. Arizona on the road at Cal. Cal's a 3.5-point favorite. I'm going to go ahead and mess around and take Arizona here. California's coming off of a game against Notre Dame, played pretty well. Lost barely at Notre Dame. I think that, they're probably sniffing their own fart after that one, probably thinking they're really good. But Arizona's pretty good too. Arizona's kind of on the come up, and neither one of these teams, to be honest with you, aren't very good. So I'm going to go ahead and take Arizona to cover here. Akron on the road at Liberty. Liberty's a 26.5-point favorite. Give me Liberty. Akron, just Akron's awful. Anybody that gets beat by Tennessee like that is not worth a fuck. Navy on the road at East Carolina. East Carolina, 16.5-point home favorite. When's East Carolina ever been a 16.5-point favorite over somebody in that conference? I'm not buying that. Going ahead and give me Naval Academy to cover. I think they dumbed this game down. Keep it ugly. Navy's not good this year, but I think that they'll keep the game slow enough to cover that 16.5 against East Carolina. Ball State at Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern 9.5-point favorite at home. Give me Georgia Southern to cover here. Ball State's terrible. Arkansas State on the road at ODU. ODU is a 5-point underdog. I'm going to take ODU to cover here. ODU has at least been impressive. They've, beaten one of the Virginia schools, almost beat the other one. They got to be pretty physical. Take the bet. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Rice on the road at Houston. Houston's a 17.5-point favorite at home. Jackpot's a closet Vol fan. Yeah. You'd stay in the damn closet. I'm going to go on ahead here and I'm going to go ahead and take Rice to cover that spread. Rice won last week. Houston had didn't look that great, I don't think, against Kansas. Gave up a big lead in the first quarter. And, Rice, I'm going to go on ahead and take them to cover the number. Northern Illinois at Kentucky. Kentucky is a 27-point favorite for some reason. I think the Northern Illinois quarterback might be out. But I think, once again, this is a spot where they're looking ahead to that Ole Miss game. And I think that you could be in for, kind of another wet fart of a game like we saw last week against Youngstown State, where the Youngstown State had the white kid living in Kentucky's backfield the entire first quarter of that game. This could be an ugly situation. Give me Northern Illinois to cover there against Kentucky. I think Kentucky wins by like 24-21, something like that. It's not relatively close, but I don't think that they have the Jimmies nor the Joes in this game, nor do they really care about scoring a lot against Northern Illinois. Arkansas on the road, Texas A&M. Texas A&M 2-point. I can't read that right now, Sancho. I'll look at it later. Arkansas on the road, Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 2-point favorite, and this game is in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. I refuse to call it Jerry's World because I just think that sounds silly. But give me Arkansas. Give me Arkansas to cover the spread here. KJ Jefferson looks really good to me. I think Rocket Sanders is going to be able to run the ball on that Texas A&M defense. And I'm high on the Texas A&M defense. I'm high on it. It's looked pretty good. They held Miami to 3 field goals last week, but I think Arkansas is an infinitely better team than Miami. Miami was very overrated. Very overrated. And Arkansas, I give the coaching advantage to Arkansas as well. I think they've got better assistant coaches, better coordinators. And to me, I just think they've got more to play for, and they've just been more impressive. Texas A&M's been having, when you have quarterback issues and you got two teams that are both physical, kind of evenly matched. You would think on paper, one of them's got quarterback issues, and one of them's got a quarterback that's playing really, really good. I'm going to take the one whose quarterback's playing really, really good. Plus, this is a neutral site game. Always is. Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. How much could this thing could make some real money for both of those teams if they played a home and home? That's kind of crazy. But anyway, Iowa on the road at Rutgers. Iowa is an 8-point favorite on the road at Rutgers. And, the over-under on this game is like 34. Battle of two wet farts. But Iowa, I think Iowa's a little bit more the impressive team to me. They've knocked off Iowa State. Last week they took on whoever it was, Nevada. They beat them like 24-0. I think both teams have good defenses. I just think Iowa's is probably a little bit better. And offensively, I think they could probably get it going when they need to. I think they cover this 8-point spread. And I think that game probably lands somewhere right around that 20 or around that 34-point total. I think Iowa wins at like 24-10 or something like that. 850 Matthew, a Knowles fan. Thank you for the super chat. Happy Friday. Looking forward to the game this weekend. Go Knowles. Go Knowles. Southern Miss on the road at Tulane. Tulane 12.5-point favorite at home. Southern Miss played decent on the road at Miami a couple of weeks ago. Tulane, another team coming off of an emotional win on the road. I don't know that Southern Miss is equipped to take advantage of that, though. Give me Tulane in this one. I think they'll roll them. UNLV on the road at Utah State. UNLV 3-point favorite on the road. What is up with this? UNLV's a favorite now? It seems like that. I don't know. Not so fast, my friend. I think Utah State takes care of them. Give me Utah State to cover at home as an underdog. And we got a bunch of... Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Messed up something there. All right, there we go. Get back to it. I'm going to blow through some of these. Some of these are awful. Marshall on the road at Troy. Marshall's a 3-point favorite on the road at Troy. Take Marshall to cover. Once again, emotional game last week. Troy, don't think they're up for it. I think Marshall beats them. Marshall also coming off of an upset loss, and I think they're going to have a little bit of piss and vinegar. Louisiana Tech at South Alabama. South Alabama, 13-point home favorite. Look for them to cover that spread. Vanderbilt at Alabama. Alabama's a 40.5-point favorite. Look, I don't know about this one. I'm just not all that sold on Alabama. Especially, they don't look like they got any real big play receivers to me. They don't look like they got any big playmakers on offense, period. Other than the quarterback. They reload every year, and I understand that, and I know it's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's been playing with some confidence, and that's one thing they have. They have some confidence coming into this game. I think Vanderbilt covers the spread. I think Alabama ends up winning this thing something like 42-14. Why are you swearing at the Lord's house? I didn't swear. I'm not swearing right now. I'm sorry if anyone was offended by that. Wisconsin. Regardless of your opinion on Bama, they'll still be advantage of 50. Of course, a Clemson fan is going to stick up for them because they normally pound you. Wisconsin on the road at Iowa State, or Ohio State, I would say. Ohio State 19.5-point favorite. Another situation here. I went with Ohio State because, when Wisconsin gets behind, how are they going to catch up? Their offense is pretty lethargic. Been the same since 1995. UConn on the road at NC State. NC State 38.5-point home favorite. Give me UConn to cover. I think NC State's looking ahead to the Clemson game next week. And I think they're just really not putting all their eggs into the basket of beating UConn. So I'm going to take NC State or UConn to cover that spread there. I think they might keep it close for a little while. New Mexico at LSU. LSU's a 31.5-point favorite. I don't take LSU. New Mexico's awful. Miami of Ohio on the road at Northwestern. Northwestern is only a 7.5-point home favorite. That don't look right to me. Give me Miami of Ohio. I think they might pull the upset off. Northwestern lost to somebody last week that was something silly. Who did they lose to last week? I know Ryan Holinsky lost to someone terrible last week. It was like an FCS school. They lost to Southern Illinois. Yeah, that's not good. Gamecocks at home against Charlotte. Gamecocks 22.5-point favorite against Charlotte. I'm going to take Charlotte to cover. I think South Carolina offensively will get some stuff going. I think they'll score in the 40s. But I think Charlotte will score in the 20s because I think South Carolina, not only has the defense been kind of bad this year, they're still banged up, and I think that Shane Beamer, the idiot that y'all, the idiot Shane Beamer, the buffoon, doesn't know what he's doing. I think he's going to sit these guys and probably start pretty much a second-string defense against Charlotte, and that'll leave the back door open a little bit for Charlotte to score a few. So I think we're thinking something like a 42-21 type game there. FAU on the road at Purdue. Purdue's a 16.5-point favorite at home. Give me FAU to cover. I think Florida's Purdue got kicked into Jimmy's last week, and maybe they're suffering from that a little bit. K-State on the road at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 13-point favorite at home. I like Oklahoma to keep on rolling. Hawaii on the road at New Mexico State. New Mexico State's a 4.5-point favorite. Yeah. This game, good Lord, this has got to be the biggest shitter I've ever seen. Give me New Mexico State to cover because it's at New Mexico State. Hawaii doesn't normally play very well in the mainland. I mean, this year, Hawaii doesn't play very well anywhere. Boston College at FSU. FSU, 17.5-point favorite. Thank the FSU fan for the super chat, but I still think that Boston College covers the spread. I think Florida State wins by like 14. But I think the market's getting a little bit chesty with FSU right now. It's getting a little bit chesty. So let me go on ahead and take those Boston College Eagles to cover that 17.5. The ULM Monroe Warhawks play host to the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Louisiana is a 9.5-point favorite on the road at UL Monroe. You know what? Give me Monroe to cover. Louisiana lost on the road at Rice last week by double digits. So they obviously aren't very good. They're obviously suffering from the loss of Sunbelt Billy. And not looking too good. I'm going to take Monroe. USC on the road at Oregon State. The Beeve is a 6-point home underdog to USC. Give me the Beeve, by God. I think somebody's going to put it in to USC's a little under. They're not going to go unbeaten. They're not going to go unbeaten. They're just not. There's been no chinks in the armor this year. No chinks in the armor. But Oregon State is just a place that's been kind of a house of horrors for people the past couple of years. And I'm taking Jonathan Smith and the Beeve to cover that 6 points. It wouldn't shock me. See him win this thing outright late. Pac-12 after dark, baby. Wyoming on the road at BYU. BYU 21.5-point favorite at home. Give me Wyoming to cover that. Give me Wyoming to cover that one right there. I think BYU also coming off an emotional loss to Oregon. I think they would have put in a better team there. And they kind of got punched in the face a little bit. And it happens. So I'm going to take Wyoming there to kind of ugly this game up a little bit and cover that number. Utah on the road at Arizona State. Utah, 15.5-point road favorite. Give me Arizona State to cover right here. Very often we will see these teams that have fired their coach go in, and the interim coach comes out and has a real good showing the first time out. And let's just not forget, Utah lost to Florida. I mean, that's, and Florida's not very good. So I think there's room to be had there, and there may be some money to be made laying with Sun Devils. Stanford on the road at Washington. Washington is a 13.5-point home favorite. I like Washington, but Stanford is another team that can make a game ugly. They can make a game ugly when they want to. They kind of made the USC game a little bit ugly earlier in the year. However, I mean, Washington has really been playing well. 13.5 points at home. Go on ahead and give me the Washington Huskies and Caleb DeBoer to cover that number. Michael Penix Jr. has been playing really good for Washington. They're on a roll, kind of. And then we have another intersectional matchup. The final one of the night, 10:30 p.m. out at the SEFCU Stadium in San Jose, California. The Western Michigan Broncos travel out west to take on San Jose State. San Jose is a 7-point favorite at home. Give me the home team. Give me the home team. I'm gonna take them there to cover that spread. So that's it, guys. That's Carolina Jackpot's picks against the spread. I gotta hit the road and head towards home, but you can replay this video in a couple of days and see how well or poorly I did. It really doesn't matter. It's all for fun. Some guy got on here the other week and said something about, this guy just getting on here rambling. He sounded like a kid in a toy store. But I'm like, you know what? You can go blow it out your diddy hole. Carolina Jackpot has been on here doing picks against the spread. Doing picks against the spread since, really since before high definition television was invented. Well, not that long. But I've been doing picks against the spread. I was doing them up before Uncle Lou started doing it on his channel. I was doing them before Pigskin Pete started doing him on his channel. And they started up their little lunch money show, or whatever you call that thing. Yeah, I mean, Carolina Jackpot's been rocking this at least since 2017. So, some idiot wants to go on here and talk about, he kind of like a kid in a toy store. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. I don't put the research into them that I used to, simply because I don't have the time to do that anymore. But I still like to do them. And I like to say, why in the name of the Lord name be driving? Because I'm going home! Why else would I be driving? Because I'm going home. I'm about to end this video. Anybody who has a problem with Carolina Jackpot driving while I'm there, I'll see you guys later.